Alright guys, hey, we're back, part 2, sorry, would have been just part 1, but I didn't have enough space on my camera. I'm going to tip you guys up here a little so you can see where we are here. Okay, I know I left off on this back wheel, and what I was talking about was that this wheel only burnt down about halfway through the tread, and that's because I don't have the rear ends locked, so it's limited slip, and I should have locked them, so that's something I'm going to do for the next burnout, is lock the rear ends. That way I get a good bite on each wheel. And same with the front. You know, the front's not locked. I ran heavier diff oil in the front and rear, hoping it would kind of help and lock it up some. So I ran some 7,000. It's the highest I had. But not thinking the heavier oil I put in, a lot harder it's going to be on the motor to actually get these tires to spin. With the compression this has, in the traction, from how this car will squat, I was having a really hard time getting it to start. Once it started, they would spin, but this oil is just a little too heavy. It's a Lucas. So I'm going to try some 3000. I'm going to empty this out, put some 3000 oil in the front and back. I think that'll let the motor spin a little freer, get a little more wheel speed out of it. And to take up the shocks, you can see my suspension's pretty high. And then it drops down to like nothing when I hit it. Well, that's if you watch the video when I'm burning out, you can see my suspension, how it squats right down. And that's my own fault because I set this up more for a drag setup. I set it up hard in the front and softer in the back. So what I'm going to do is add some Team Losi 45 weight shock oil to these back oils. Heaviest I got, and I think that'll be plenty heavy enough. With some heavier shock oil, so that when she does squat, I still want it to squat, but I want it to correct itself a little bit after it squats. I want it to rise up a little bit. So I think that 45 is going to work. I do. And I'm thinking about, here they are. I got some Apex racing gears here. I got from 32 to 35 turn here, tooth. So I'm thinking of seeing what I got for a pinion gear in this and putting one of these bigger gears on it. And if I have to, changing the spur also. But if I remember when I was in here last time, the spur gears are they're kind of small. So I might not have to get away with changing the spur gear. I might be okay just changing this with some lighter oil. And I think I'll still be able to get the tires to turn. I've been pretty impressed with the car so far, guys. For a cheap little car, I mean, having all the metal inside it and everything, it just surprised me in how it handles. After the video was done, when my video conked out on me there for doing the burnout, I pulled the truck out into the yard. I have a little paved section in my driveway. And I was blasting some major tornado donuts there with it, over and over, kind of just to see what it would do. And I mean, my God, it never rose. It never tried to flip. I mean, I was going straight with it, fast as I could with it, and then I was just sliding it right around into donuts, and it was just sucking to the ground, and it was staying planted, all four tires on the ground. It was incredible how stable this is. So I think this is going to work pretty good as my little on-road road car for testing speed and stuff, just to play around. If I have to, I'll put a little bit of a wheelie bar on the back, because it does like to pick up a little bit at first when you first come onto it. But yeah, for a cheap RC, first, starting in the hobby or something you just want to modify that's cheap, instead of tearing apart a really good car, I see nothing wrong with this. And after seeing the video that I did with the burnout and seeing that nothing broke on it at all, there's nothing broke, nothing. Nothing's loose. The only thing that happened was my servo. My arm on my servo fell off because the bolt came loose because I didn't have it Loctited. That's the only thing that happened to it, guys. It's a little clicky here, but I can't tell what that quite is yet. It might just be the meshing I have on my gears, and where I put it all together, and that was the first run. They might have seeded in, so I might have to re-mesh my motor, where everything was brand new back here. But nothing's slipping. And otherwise than that, I mean, yeah, no problem at all. And if you guys are wondering about the lights I did for the wheels, I just used LEDs, guys. Just regular LEDs. I buy kits of them. I buy them like this. They come multicolored for like $8 to $10, depending on what sites you get. You can get up to 120 to like 200 of them for that kind of money. Your color is your negative. Your blacks are your positives. The long lead on an LED is positive. The short is a negative. If you hook them backwards, they won't work. So don't get nervous if you get bad lights or something. Just change the wires around and they'll work. I done that before when I first started messing with them. So that's how I know that. And then all you do. Oh, I threw that in the bag, didn't I? Yep, there it is. Buy a bag of these. They come in 250 to a bag. I don't know if you can see that. It's awful dark right there. They come 250 to a bag. And what that's made to do is just, it comes with a little rubber gasket that you'll put in over your wires. And that's made to push your LED light in like that. That way you just get the light from the tip so it reflects all of the lighting out. If you didn't have this, excuse me guys, your light, instead of coming out the tip where you want it, will actually illuminate through the sides, and it actually makes the LED a lot dimmer. So you kind of need that. You kind of need something. So if you don't put a cover over it like that and use them, I would black out the sides a little bit darker with something so you can penetrate the light through the tip. And what I did is I just glued, these is all I did guys, I glued them to key points I wanted them. I glued them so one was facing into the rim itself, bouncing off the side, and I faced the other one down towards the bottom of the rim, so it kind of bounced off the tire in the rim. That way it just lit up the ground behind the tire on each side. I didn't want to light the inside of the truck blue. I just wanted to light the wells and the tires blue. I thought if I could get it smoking with that blue light and the smoke would look cool. And it will look cool, guys. We will get that. We will get that effect here at some point. But if these tires don't work, I'll pull a set of tires off one of my Tamayas over there. And we'll rip some smooth racing tires and see if we can get them to smoke. The compound on these tires, as you can see in the video, it loaded the ground with rubber. Loaded the ground with rubber. So the compound is so soft on these. I think if I had a harder compound tire, we'd have had smoke. Because as you can tell at the first start of the video, before my wife / camera gal goes to the other side of the car, you can hear that and that's before I switched the 2S battery actually. You can hear the tire squeal from these tires just a squealing. So they were wanting to burn and smoke, but they were just such a soft rubber compound. They'd rather chunk than smoke. Because I could smell it. Oh man, I could smell the rubber bad while I was doing it. And it doesn't help that it was also very windy, and the wind was blowing into my garage. So everything that was going to the back of the garage. But like I said, I didn't see any smoke, and I watched hard for it. I even tried cheating and adding a little bleach, guys, to get some white bleach burnouts like I used to do when I was a kid. And that didn't even work. So that's what I'm saying. I don't know if I need a little more weight. I know a little bit of it, like I said, is the way I had it set up with the gear oil and different stuff. So once we get that changed, we get the spring sprung up a little higher, I might try running the 3S and just set the 2S on top of it for extra weight and see if I need the extra weight. And we'll try that and see how that works. But yeah guys, there's nothing to it really modifying these things. And it's kind of fun. You just get something in your mind for an imagination and try to build it. I mean, you saw it started like this. Which, you know, is a cool little body for what it is with the style wheels, you know, that it had and stuff. But to me, something like this is just major better. Majorly better. And now you see how high it is on the back. Oh, jeez, why do I do that? I just put that on there, knowing it's not clipped, and then I push on it. You see how high it is in the back when it's setting down. Let me get it over here so you can see the back wheels. And that's kind of how, like I said, I set it up. Because I was kind of setting this up for the road and kind of for my drag setup for the RC Guy drag contest. So I was setting it up high for the back tires, but I was also setting it up, like I said, so it will squat, as you can see the distance. And see, she don't recover. She stays at that height. It recovers, but it only recovers from, you know, from that point, it only recovers to that point. Versus you know, all the way up to that point there. And I think if I run it heavier in the back and have less down stay, I'll get a better spin, and we'll probably see some smoke. But like I said, if I got it, we'll change these tires. But you can take a piece of junk, guys, and turn it into something like this with just a little bit of imagination. That's all it takes. Now the other style, let me set this out of the way for a minute, guys. A vehicle like that, it comes in this style also, guys. So if you're not an SUV kind of guy, it comes in a sand buggy style. Okay? Now the tires that are on here aren't the tires that come on it. These are my crawler tires. I just put them on to play with it. And they're too soft. They roll right over when they flip. They fold. So if you're cornering with this thing at high speed, oh, it will tumble. It will tumble. It comes... It comes with these. And they're a cheaper... The tread pattern ain't bad, but they're a lot harder, faker feeling. The giant wheel here. So if you were going to put an aftermarket on here, you'd be messed, because I don't know where you'd find an aftermarket that would fit this rim. I really don't. They're just that off-size weird. So right there, you know, is one, I don't know, I guess it's not downfall, because it does come with 12mm hexes, so you can put any kind of tire on it. But if you didn't have any other tires to put on it, I mean, it'll work. It'll work, you know, probably fine. It's just not a great tire, guys. I think you'd have more fun with it with better rubber, like what I've done. And that's why I opted not to use them. And like I said, they don't give you, if you wanted to change out from that dirt tire and go to something a little more aggressive or something a little less aggressive, I don't know where you'd be able to find something to upgrade it. So to me, if you got the car, you'd probably want to order yourself what style wheels you want that you can upgrade yourself versus these things. But RC guys got a drag competition out there, and instead of tearing apart my road car slash burnout car, why don't I? It's the same exact chassis style, same exact car. It's just got a different bonnet. Why don't I tear the front end out of this in the drive shaft and turn this into my RC guy garage drag car? I think that would work. I have another motor. I have a Richards, a big Richards motor. I have more ESCs. I've already got I got another remote and another receiver I could put in it. I've got the gears. And instead of running this body, I can save this body to play with later. I don't know, it would look cool. I guess a drag sand buggy would look kind of cool. But instead of using this body and ruining it, I'm thinking, why don't I put the body I bought for the drag car build? We're going with like a 69, 70 Mustang. Came from, was it, I believe, SJ Customs. Came from their drag site. Nope. Where did it come from? Nope, come from Proform. Proform, from their drag site where their drag bodies are on Proform. And it's the, oh, what do they call that? A 60, call it a 68 Mustang. So that's what this is then, the 68. Yeah. I bought it for that. Well, I think that's what we're going to run. She's tubbed out, wider in the back. So therefore, on a regular 10 scale car, the tires and wheels would have fit inside. But where this is a sand buggy, they're a lot wider. So, oh man, that fits the wheel wells perfectly, guys. Look at that. Slight bit of modifying. That fits almost perfect center on each side. I think I can run the wheel extensions on these wheels, pump them out just a little bit by the body, and I could get away with the tire here, or leave it the way it's going to fall right now. It's going to fall half tire. I could leave it that way, and we could tub out this rear end a little bit. You know, we could take this out some. Cut that piece out right here for the fender. Cut it right tight where the body line is. And then take a section out up above here, guys. Make it bigger. and then move this line up so we still have our top wheel well line right here. And then just modify this into a big opening to take the tire. I do have drag tires coming in, but he said to use stuff we have. Problem is all I have is crawler things. I don't know. He's using crawler tires, but they're so soft and they balloon. I don't think for a drag car they're going to work. I think I'm going to have more trouble setting the car to go straight using a flimsy tire that rolls so much. So I think where I have them ordered, and I didn't know that until after you had said that, I think I'm going to go and still run the drag tires I got ordered, guys. I have a set of front and a set of back coming. So I believe we're going to turn this Cheep Enzo, E-N-O-Z-E, Enozo. I think we're going to turn this Cheep $90 Amazon Enozo 4x4 into a RC Guy Garage drag car. That's the plans, guys. So be looking forward to another video on modifying this Cheep RC into something a little more expensive with better parts and something maybe we can make go fast. We'll end up having to, we'll have to build ourselves a drag bar. And I have a drag bar here already on my RJ Speed drag car that I have right here. I'm sorry if the video's dark, guys. I'm trying to get it brighter. I don't know what to do here. It's this light I have over here. My lighting's very bad, guys. I'm sorry about that. But I have this RJ Speed I built. And I haven't run this yet either, guys. I've only tried it outside like 2 times on the other motor, and I was having issues, so I pulled the other motor. And for now, I just threw in a brushed 550 with the hopped up gear on the back. But I mean, it's a little dusty now sitting up there. I'm only hitting about 25 miles an hour with it with that motor though, so it's gonna go back brushless at some point. But what I was saying is I do have a wheelie bar right here that I could maybe borrow for here, or just use this as a template. It's just a flat piece of I don't know, carbon fiber maybe or something, or rugged plastic. So I don't know if I find a nice piece of rugged plastic that thickness, I can just lay that out, cut it, maybe even make it a little bit longer, a little wider if I wanted. I could modify it any way I wanted and make my own for the car, because I know I'm going to need a wheelie bar for it. Definitely. But I don't think it's fair if I run this car for the RC Guy Garage drag competition, just because I did buy it as a drag kit. And so therefore it is set up for drag racing. Well, not set up for drag racing, but it is set up for drag racing. All I have to do is adjust certain things. So the things that would need adjusting, they've already got the things there for me to adjust. You understand what I'm saying? Where this car, there's nothing inside it for me to adjust for drag racing. Anything that I need to do for adjusting for this for drag racing, I'm going to have to figure out on my own. Where this has already been figured out, and I only have to turn things one way or another to get it to do what I want it to do. So therefore, that's why I'm not going to run this car, guys, and I'm going to run that. But yeah, that's the rest of part 2, guys. And like I said, I'm going to be doing another video on tearing apart. Ugh, getting too many cars up here now. I'm going to do another video on tearing apart the burnout car. And show you guys just how easy it is to get into the rear end housing on these on these cheaper vehicles here, because the rear ends and the front ends on these are so quick to get into. It's crazy. And yeah, we'll do a video on that. But before I go, and before I run out of memory on my phone, I want to show you what those lights RC guy showed the other day. He showed a roof light. I have the same one. For some reason, I don't know what's wrong with his, but his roof light is very dim. And I think he needs to send it back, because I think he got taken on that one. Because, I'll show you guys what they're supposed to look like. And they're very cheap. Very cheap. Oh. Oh. Did you see that, guys? Did you see that light flash? That must have been off the capacitor that's inside the ESC must have had enough electricity stored to flash that light, because I don't have the battery plugged in yet. Because I set the battery down somewhere, and I don't know where I did with it. Oh, here it is. Okay. Wow, that was kind of cool. It actually flashed for a second. That got me going. Okay, this is what they're supposed to look like, guys. Ah! Do you see that? Now that's what these lights look like. That's on 2S. So I don't know what was wrong with RC Guy's light, but he needs to send that thing back. Because, yeah, he got taken on that one. Alright, guys. Well, stay tuned for the next video I'll have coming. And like I said, we'll be doing the back end of this, doing the front end. I'm just going to do one side for you on video. You don't need to see both. It takes too long. And then I'll show you, I'm going to program the motor again, because I'm pretty sure I programmed it for a soft start. And that might have been one of the problems too, with getting the wheels to start spinning real quick off at the start, was because of the way I had the tuning. So we'll tune it, we'll re-grease it, we'll put some shock oil in, and then maybe we'll give it a little test rip. So alright guys, thanks a lot, and we'll see you on the next video.